Folks, our guest today is Russell Lillard, also known as Russ Lillard. He is the owner of Superior Industrial Laundries, based in Marion County, West Virginia. Russ, welcome to the show. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to learning more about you and your business.
Positively West Virginia. Positively West Virginia.
Positively West Virginia is powered by BreezeLine high-speed fiber internet and sponsored by Highmark West Virginia, Freedom Kia of Morgantown, and Humble Influence. With the help of these sponsors, we're able to share the positive business stories of West Virginians, including the one from today's episode.
Russ, again, let's start at the top. For our listeners who may not know, give us an overview. What is Superior Industrial Laundries, Superior, all about?
Right. Well, we are technically, I guess, started out years ago in 1982. My father started the business after working for another uniform company for 20 years. Wow. It's all I've ever done. A lot of people, when they in school or they have other jobs, they work at the McDonald's or the Convenience Smart, but when I was in school, I worked for him with that company. Yeah. He started our company in 82, and what we do is we're uniform, entrance mats, toweling is what we kind of started out doing, some dust mops, dust control, and we've kind of migrated into a lot of other fields since then. Yeah. So that's kind of our beginnings, and it's been we're in our 44th year.
That's amazing.
Of being a business. So, it's great.
4 decades of business. Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah.
That's
Third
an
generation.
accomplishment. Yeah. So let's talk about that then, because obviously we love talking with entrepreneurs and small business owners across the state of West Virginia, but you have a multi-generational business now. 40, how many years? 44 years.
This year.
So tell us, your dad started the business, you're running it now, you're bringing your son on board?
Yeah, and I think to go back a little bit, my father started the business after working for another company, and I came in almost right at the onset. Went to college, and it wasn't my thing, and so I kind of went to work for him. Yeah. Later on, my brother came into the business as well. Lost both of them, and so now I run the business myself. And my son, third generation, is working with me very close, and he's so good. The quicker he can kind of take over, the better we'll be as well. Those young eyes are a great asset to any business.
Yeah. When I think of Superior, I do think of, industrial, mats and uniforms and so forth. What are you known for, like specifically? Is there one thing or is it multiple things?
Well, I would say the uniforms. That kind of is what the name Industrial Laundry lends itself to, is uniforms, matting, towels, more along of industrial accounts, but
light manufacturing, all those kinds of things. People where they have to wear a uniform.
Car dealerships and machine shops and those types of things. But in our industry, there's not a business out there that can't take something that we offer. Yeah. So the mats and the toweling, and we do restaurants and grocery stores, and we've gotten into full service janitorial supply. Oh, really? We're even doing first aid now as well. Wow. So really, as far as our competitors go, there's none of our competitors, even as big as they are, do everything that we do. Yeah. So it's given us. We even do some tablecloths, napkins, those types of things.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah,
well, that's cool. That's good to know. Now, you're based right there along the interstate at Kingmont exit in Marion County, Fairmont area. How long have you been in that location?
We've been there since '86. We started. Our first location was in Star City, down along the river, in Boyers Avenue. We were there the first 4 years of our existence, and it grew so quickly we needed a larger facility. So we moved to Fairmont in '86. That was I look back and think about that. That was quite a venture, because at that time, being only 4 years old, we couldn't buy all new equipment and hook up there before we unhooked in Morgantown. So that was an adventure.
I bet. I can only imagine that transition.
Yeah, it was something.
It was probably a crazy time. Now, when I think of, and I pass your building all the time, going up and down the interstate, see it right off the interstate there. How big of a facility is that, and how many folks do you have there?
It's 60,000 square feet. We employ right around 33 to 35, depending on the time of the year. Yeah.
That's great.
And I think that may be one of our biggest assets is our people. We're so fortunate to have, multiple people that have worked with us 25, 30, 35, 40 years even. So it's a great sense of pride.
What types of jobs are those? Obviously, you have delivery people that are out there going to business to business, but you have the people working back in the shop.
Sure. Multitude. I mean, production inside the facility. Mechanics, supervisors, salespeople. Our service reps, and they're the front line. They're who make the company go. If they don't do their job and service those customers like they're supposed to, then we don't have the success that we have. So we have a great group right now. There's always some attrition and things change, but very fortunate.
Well, I think that's you can win a lot easier when you have great people.
It's the key to any business. Yeah, it really is.
Absolutely.
It's been a tough venture for any business since the COVID time. Of getting the workforce back up to.
Talk a little bit about that. You went through that period.
That was a tough time. I'll tell you, it was very tough on us, even though we were considered essential, because of what we provide. But there were a lot of our customers were shut down and closed up for that period of time. Some of the government programs, the PPP program was very instrumental in keeping, our employees working and being paid. It was a very, very good thing. A lot of people misrepresented themselves during that time, but it worked out really good.
Yeah. Russ, what's the thing that has you fired up right now? What are you excited about?
Well, the future, we're making a lot of strides with upgrading equipment, technology, advances in software and processes inside of our plant to make things more efficient and ultimately to give the customers better service. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Can you speak a little bit more about the technology aspect? Because that's a big thing with that I'm trying to pay attention to right now with AI and all the things that are coming down right now. Sure. You wouldn't think that it would affect an industrial laundry facility, but it is. So talk about that.
Yeah, and AI is something that we've looked at. Through some of the associations that we're involved with, that can look at processes and production and see, how many towels are being folded in a certain period of time just through cameras. And it's amazing what that can do.
That's fascinating.
It is.
Russ.
It's amazing. Yeah. The technology way back in the day, we've been utilizing some of this higher technology for quite a number of years. Yeah. But, back in the day, you'd get soap and chemicals in big drums, and the guy would take a big scoop and jam. If he was in a good mood that day, you'd get 7 pounds of soap, and if he wasn't, you'd get 3 pounds. And so, but over the time, you have liquid injection soap systems now. They're all computer controlled, and it's it's exact. It's like when you go to one of the Lowe's, Home Depot, and you get paint, or you want a certain color, there's a certain amount of that color and a certain amount, and that's exactly
chemistry.
The way it works in our industry as well.
You mentioned like the pandemic. When you were going through that, did you notice a shift in janitorial supplies? Like was that kind of like a pivotal moment for
it was. We were kind of just getting started in some of that
really?
then, but
that was perfect
the
timing,
hand sanitizer, was a huge thing, and it was even hard for us to get it. But if we did, it's sad a lot of times that a lot of companies will take advantage of those situations when you have a major storm and power outages and generators that were $300 are now $1,300.
You hear of price gouging.
Right. And
tragedies.
We experienced a little
like
bit of that, but we tried to keep that down for our customers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's amazing. And it's kind of interesting just hearing that, like how something like a pandemic, and you're in this business of cleaning and, you know, providing janitorial projects, and something that's like hand sanitizer could change the course of how things are going. You know,
we probably could have sold a lot more if we could have gotten it.
It's really interesting.
Rubber gloves, you know.
What's the long-term vision you have for Superior now? You mentioned your son's coming into the business. How is that like changing your perspective on the
Well,
on the
I think
future?
it's just the next step. You know, my father started the business. My brother and I, both work for him, and I know his family was the most important thing to him, and providing that business for us to flourish in, and then now with my son being in, just making it so that he can work on the business, not in the business.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't need to be back, in the plant working on equipment. And so upgrading and constantly changing, and that's the key.
Curious, how does that make you feel as a dad, as a son, being able to take your dad's business and now passing it off to, his grandson?
It's amazing. It really is. And, we take a lot of pride in the fact of being in West Virginia, even though I wasn't born here, my parents weren't born here, been here long enough that, I feel like I was born here, and everything that is West Virginia, the people, our customers that are here have always been great to us and appreciate what we can do for them. As, we also service other states as well, but it's those privately owned companies that are really kind of our niche, where I can go in and talk with the owner.
They know you know them.
That's right. I still maintain
relationships.
A good relationship with a lot of our customers that are privately owned.
That's really wonderful to hear. When we talk sometimes on this show about succession planning, and it just seems like it's perfectly lined up. And when you deal with a multi-generational 44-year-old company, it's wonderful to me to see a succession plan that's already in place, and you're trying to, the longer the runway, the more success you will have, right? The opportunity for success, because your son's being able to work in the business, work on the business, work alongside you. That's got to be really cool for him too.
It's amazing, and it's it takes a special person to work in a family business. Back when I first started, my father and I butted heads a little bit, because I would say, well, why are you doing this? And he'd say, don't ask why, just do it. Yeah, exactly. But what he didn't understand at the time was I wanted to know what his thought process was and how why did he make that decision? And it did take long, and he figured that out, and then it was kind of an open book, and that's how, my brother and I learned the business from him. And it's the same with my son now. It's an open book. I mean, he knows everything that goes on, and that's a great sense of pride. Yeah.
This is Positively West Virginia. We'll be right back.
Your prescriptions are designed to keep you healthy, active, full of life. At Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, we're making vital medicine more affordable. Because when your prescriptions don't cost an arm and a leg, you can use those limbs for something more meaningful. Because life. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, West Virginia.
Stay connected with an unbeatable deal from BreezeLine. Voted best in Mountaineer Country for their reliable, high-speed fiber internet for a low cost, BreezeLine is the best gig in town. Here at Interaction Media, we rely on high-speed internet every single day to ensure we can deliver the best content possible for our clients and when we publish Positively West Virginia each week. That's why we use BreezeLine. It's affordable, fast, and they're great people as well. Learn more about BreezeLine's internet, TV, and mobile options at breezeline.com. Folks, we're back. We're visiting with Russ Lillard. He's the owner of Superior Industrial Laundries. also known as Superior, SIL, located in Marion County. Russ, I love our conversation and just learning about your family business and the third generation now, 44 years into this. For people who may not be in like an industrial business, why is it important to have a company like SIL or Superior to come in and be able to provide all the things that you do? What's the deal there?
Well, I think it sort of goes to our pitch in our business, if you will, and that is our business is making our customers look good, whether that be uniforms, our favorite sports teams, they all look the same. They all have uniforms on. It's a team building type of thing. And a lot of those uniforms are an absolute necessity. With the gas industry and the coal industry, there's a lot of FR, flame retardant, reflective, and they are held to certain standards.
For safety.
Exactly. ANSI and OSHA compliant uniforms and so forth. So, that's. So
do you provide the sales of those uniforms as well? And you handle the maintenance, the cleaning?
We do. I mean, basically what we do.
Work?
I'm sorry. Basically what we do is we're in the rental business.
Oh, okay.
But some companies don't want to rent for whatever reason, or they want to do something between a rent and a direct sale, which would be like a lease where they don't necessarily need the service. So we'll tailor that program to our customers, whatever they may need.
That's very cool.
So we do industrial uniforms, and there's also people who call and say, well, we need T-shirts with our logos or polos for our middle management with our logo on them, whether it be screen printed or embroidered, and we can handle all of that. Yeah, we do. Now we have some contractors that help us with that we work very closely with.
That's really cool. So when I'm thinking of like you mentioned like car dealers, and my brother-in-law owns a mechanic shop down in Harrison County. They work on diesel engines and stuff like that. You got to have some stuff that comes in there pretty heavily soiled, and you have all the gear and equipment to handle all that.
Absolutely. It's just we work very closely with our chemical company that sells us all the products. And, a lot of the chemical that you put in the wash wheel to launder, whether it be towels or uniforms or mats or whatever, is to make sure that water is the proper grading when it comes out, so we have a good relationship with the local water and sewage companies, and to make sure that to make sure that you're not sending out anything that they don't want.
Dangerous,
so
how does that all work? Do you have like filtering systems and that kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, we do. And it's quite a elaborate situation.
I can only imagine. Yeah, it was 60,000 square foot plant too.
A lot of it's a lot of production and space and storage.
Have you ever had something come in the years you've been in the business, you're like shaking your head thinking, I cannot believe we're dealing with this. Like it's such a dirty mess.
Yes. And in fact, we've turned some of that business away.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah. There are a lot of industries that are just too much soil, that we just really don't want to have that issue, and without getting down in the weeds with it, there's a lot of things I really don't want my employees dealing with. We do some linen hospitality or even some hotels, motels that we process some sheets and pillowcases and things for them, but we don't do anything medical, because we don't want to get
That's a whole other
it's a whole other line there. It's just
cool.
not something we want to do.
That's good to know. It's like when I drive by that building all the time, on the interstate there at 79, and you see what's going on, but you don't really know what's happening back there. You kind of understand, but this is really eye-opening to me.
Most of our customers really don't realize what it takes to process those garments. We
take it for granted.
Can't really envision, what our facility looks like. We cover a large area, the entire state of West Virginia and portions of all surrounding states.
Now, do you have other locations as well?
We've operated as many as 4 other satellite locations over the years, but through some issues with management, we we work all that business out of our Fairmont location. I do have one location in Martinsburg, which my sister's husband runs for me. So
cool.
More family involved there.
That's great.
And that's working out good for us as well.
That's great over all the way to the Eastern Panhandle.
Yeah, Northern Virginia, South Central PA and Maryland.
Yeah. What kind of impact, Russ, do you feel that Superior is having here in West Virginia?
Well, I think it gives everyone another option. All of our competitors are multi-billion-dollar-a-year companies, and none of them do everything that we do. But it gives a lot of people an option, even though it may be a chain business. We have some of those.
Really?
It gives them that option to say, I think one of the things that I say is we're large enough to handle every need our customers have, but small enough to care.
Yeah.
And that's kind of our mission statement, if you will.
That's great. Yeah. Of course. But like you mentioned, a perfect example of that is you still have a relationship with a lot of your customers, as
Absolutely.
the owner, and you're out, you may not be out there pitching their business, but they know who Russ Lillard is.
I want them always to, it's important that, and it doesn't only have to be the biggest or largest accounts that we have. I mean, naturally, there are certain accounts that I kind of like to take care of. You have to stay out in the field a little bit,
keep your gears greased.
That's
as they
right.
say,
That's right. But
that's good.
It doesn't matter if it's a one wearer account and they have an issue. They can call the plant and talk to me anytime they want.
Yeah, that's awesome. This is Positively West Virginia. We'll be right back.
In a world obsessed with leadership, what if the real key to success is followership? We hear it all the time. Be a leader, take charge. But what if the most impactful people aren't the ones leading from the front? In Humble Influence, I explore how humility, collaboration, and shared purpose empower followers to create meaningful change in business, organizations, and relationships. Discover the strength of true followership with Humble Influence.
Folks, we're back. We're visiting with Russ Lillard. He's the owner, multi-generational owner. His dad started the company Superior Industrial Laundries, also known as Superior, or you may have seen their sign, SIL, based in Marion County. Russ, this has been a great conversation, just getting to know you more and learning more about Superior. Let's jump right back into it. For West Virginia companies maybe sitting out there thinking about their uniforms, their presence, how they're presenting to their customers. What do you think how do you feel like they should be maybe paying attention to their uniforms, or what do you say to people out there like that you're talking to? How do you view their employees presenting to their customers? Yeah,
well, again, uniforms are something that gives the impression that we care about what we look like.
Yes.
And that's important. And there's many different things that you can do to make that image, be where you want it. And again, like I said, we do direct sale, we do rental, we do lease. So uniforms, whether it be, people walk into your business and that mat that they walk across has your company logo on that. It just says a little bit about that, our customer to their customers, that we care. We're going that extra step.
Yeah. What size businesses do you serve? Is it anything, or is it retail? Is it industrial? Talk a little bit about that.
We service anything from a retail store that has one entrance mat at the front door, on High Street or wherever that may be, up to however big an account is. Some of our larger accounts, over 300 wearers of garments with very expensive high-end FR reflective with all the other services that go along with that.
And the FR stands for fire retardant.
Yes.
That's kind of an important thing, especially like you mentioned in the coal business or oil and gas, especially, right?
Yeah, it's an absolute requirement.
Yeah.
They have to have that.
OSHA standards and stuff like that. That's cool. We talked a lot about technology, and I appreciate that. I would like to talk a little bit about leadership. Because you're a leader, you've been a leader. I knew you back in high school playing high school football for Morgantown High School. You were a leader on the field. You're a leader in your business. You're a leader in the community. When you think of leadership today, Russ, and especially as your son's coming up through the business, what do you think is the most important attribute for a successful business leader today?
Well, with leading, I think you can't be afraid to take something on. A lot of people, I'm involved in certain charities and organizations, and I've always been the kind of person that if I'm involved in it, I want to have a say in how it's run. Yeah. That might just be the way I am, but I think that's important.
It's a good trait.
Yeah, be willing to. We can all get overextended, and we have to be grounded to the fact of what we do every day. But as far as leading in my business, you have to love what you do. Yeah. Love what you do. You'll never work a day in your life. And I look forward to going to work every single day.
That's amazing.
Some days are worse than others.
Sure.
But any challenge that comes up, no matter how big or small, we take it head on, and it's a team effort. Great people that are, instead of complaining that truck has a issue with it, what do we need to do to get it taken care of?
Solve the problem.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
That's really cool. What's one of the things that you love about your work? In terms of, you mentioned love what you do and you never work a day in your life. What's the thing that you love most about it?
It's satisfying to me because, and I think I got this from my father, and that is, being in a service industry like we are, you have to want to serve people. You have to get great pleasure from seeing someone happy with what you're doing for them. And I think that's really the big thing. If you're going to go in business for yourself, don't go in that business just for the sake of how much money you can make. And that's the important part at the end of the day. That's very important. But you're going to be miserable if it's just to do that and not to do something that you really love. Plus the fact of, I get to go to work every day with my son.
That's so cool.
We have our issues. He gets upset with me sometimes because I'm a little demanding maybe, but
I liked what you said when you would ask your dad, why, because I said, do it,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You can probably see some of your father coming back.
I try not to do that with him.
It's easy to do, especially with our kids and stuff like that. So that's really cool. And I appreciate you sharing that. What's one piece of advice you would give to somebody, maybe thinking about starting a business, or even thinking about, becoming involved in the family business?
Well, it's a different dynamic being involved in family, and you have to understand that there can't be any jealousy. Well, he has a better vehicle than I have, or he got to take a day off and I'm still working. You have to understand that everything is give and take, and at the end of the day, it all evens out. I see so many family businesses fail because people can't get along. I have 3 kids. My brother is 4, my sister 4, and we all get along just like we all live under the same roof. We have our moments, as everyone does, but you just have to realize where you're at and stay.
Is it important in a family business to kind of separate family from work? In other words, like when you're at work, you're the president of the company, would you're having Easter dinner, it's dad. Is it important to kind of compartmentalize those two things?
My son's girlfriend and my wife will roll their eyes when we get to the table and start talking about a certain account. But I said, you can't help it. That's family business. That's what you're going to get into. Everything that we do and everything we talk about, ultimately is going to benefit them. So, they understand. And that was always the way it was when my father and brother were alive. And we go to Sunday dinner at Mom's house, and, that the conversation would ultimately turn to the business, But we never wore them out with it either.
That's good.
Time to talk about something else.
Exactly. Let's change the subject. We heard enough.
Right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I appreciate you sharing that. Russ, we've covered a lot in this brief interview, and I've just enjoyed getting to know you better, learning more about Superior.
Absolutely.
And
I appreciate the opportunity.
The service that you provide to businesses across West Virginia, it's an important thing. Uniforms and being clean and presentable to your customers is very important. Even the floor mat. I want to talk to you about our entry mat out here. Yeah, maybe we could work together on that. I think that when you said that resonated with me, and I just think that stewarding a business for 44 years is not something that's easy to do, and to be successful and have the team that you have and these high quality people, and now your son coming into the business and preparing to make that transition at some point is fascinating to me, and I love it, and I am just inspired by your story. Is there anything else you think our listeners should know about your story or that of Superior?
I just think we're available. We're there to partner with our customers and potential customers. Yep. We don't want to be just there and you buy from us and I can remember back in the day we may have an account close or something, and we lose. Maybe they rented one mat a week or every other week from us. And my father it was just like the end of the world.
Yeah,
I mean, and he took every account seriously, and we still do.
Yeah.
Every single account that we have, it is just as important. No matter the size, everyone is just as important. My father used to say 11 dimes are worth more than $1. So that's just that's kind of how he made sure everybody understood that it's not about all the big accounts and all that. Isn't
that cool that you still remember that?
Well, there's I could probably talk all day about.
Maybe you have to write a book.
I probably could.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, as we close out our time, Russ, how can our listeners learn more about Superior and maybe even get in touch with you?
Yeah, so we're on the web, Superior Laundries. You can look us up. Yep. We have a website. It's kind of informational, and 304-366-7369. That's our phone number, and we're located right off the Kingmont exit of 79. Most people are driving up and down 79 to see our business.
Yeah,
we welcome anyone to stop in at any time
Beautiful.
And check with us and see how we can help you out.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We'll make sure we have all that information on our show notes, as well as tagging you in social media, and folks can check it out. Right. Superior Industrial Laundries Incorporated. Russ Lillard, it's been an honor to have you on the show today. I feel like, this has just been a great opportunity to learn more about this business that I've heard about for so long, and to have you sitting here in the studio has been great. And I just want to encourage you to keep up the great work and keep this family business thriving. This is awesome.
We're not going anywhere.
I love it. Sure. I love it. Yeah. Folks, that's a wrap on another episode of Positively West Virginia. If you or someone you know would be a great guest on our show, please drop us a line on our website at positivelywv.com. Please share these episodes with your audience as well. It helps get the word out there about Superior and Russ Lillard's story. It helps Positively West Virginia and all the wonderful stories that we get to hear about each week on the podcast. And give us a review as well. That helps us and helps us grow this mission that we're on. On behalf of our entire Positively West Virginia team, including our producer today, Mr. Jimmy Murray behind the controls. Appreciate you, Jimmy. I'm your host, Jim Matuga. Stay positive, West Virginia.
We'd like to thank our partners, Highmark West Virginia, Freedom Kia of Morgantown, Interaction Media, Humble Influence, and our studio sponsor, BreezeLine, for helping to share these positive stories. If you'd like to become a sponsor of the Positively West Virginia podcast, visit positivelywv.com/sponsor.